My name is Robert Mace. I'm Executive Director at the Meadow Center for Water and the Environment. I decided to study rainwater harvesting in Texas in part because I got bit by the rainwater bug. There's something about rainwater harvesting that changes your DNA. You want to do more. You want to catch more, you want to learn more about it, and you want to try and maximize it.
So our house is a whole house rainwater system, which means that our entire house is on rainwater. We don't have a well, we don't have any other supply of water. Everything that's coming into our house is from this 25,000 gallon rainwater tank. We use it for everything in our house. So everything from what we drink to cleaning to showering, everything in the household is we use the water for.
So this research that I recently released with Ricardo Briones from the sustainability program at Texas State, the main conclusion is that rainwater can be a reliable source of water. And by reliable supply, what I mean is you can get through the worst drought we've ever seen.
We have never run out of water with our system here. So since 2021, we've had a couple of dry spells and we've seen it get a little bit low, but there's really no reason for us to worry about it going dry. Once we get a big storm, it fills almost all the way up pretty quickly.
Rainwater harvesting is more sustainable than drilling a well because aquifers are really easy to overwhelm with groundwater pumping. That's something we're seeing in the hill country. We're seeing water wells failing, particularly during dry spells. If you have a properly designed rainwater harvesting system, you don't have to worry about that.
I think the primary environmental benefit of a rainwater system is that we're not tapping into the aquifer. So rather than extracting it from our groundwater resources, we are capturing and storing it right here on the landscape where it's coming down. And that's important because we know that we're overusing our groundwater resources here in the central Texas area.
So the rainfall tool is one of the outputs from the research that we did. And we did it for all over the state of Texas. However, it could be used for any part of the country or the world as long as you have daily rainfall data. We've been doing calculations of like what would rainwater harvesting look like for a data center. And then we do hope in the future to add in the ability to build in outdoor use, because some urban settings, they just want to offset their outdoor use with rainwater harvesting. So it'd be helpful to have a tool that allows folks to properly size the system to provide a reliable supply for those purposes.
I would say if someone is considering a whole house rainwater system and they have the budget and the space to do it, then they should absolutely try it. I think they'll be pleasantly surprised that it's reliable, it's fairly low maintenance, and it makes your water taste great. And it also helps you be a little bit more connected to your use and to your environment.
One thing that we're working on now in terms of research for rainwater harvesting is like how can we do rainwater harvesting in urban settings? It'd be hard to find a place to put a 25,000 gallon tank on a city lot. But the good news is like we can use a much smaller tank, say for Austin, a 4,000 gallon tank, and that can offset indoor use for toilets and for clothes washing. And for a typical household, those two uses are about half the indoor use. And so we're looking at ways that rainwater harvesting, can be a serious water supply in urban settings. As our reservoirs are going up and down, aquifers are depleting. We may be seeing more rainwater in our cities as we move forward in Texas.